Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Mandalorian, Season 2. We're up to what episode are we up to? Episode 4, Chapter 12. And this recap started immediately, so I didn't have any black screen to pause on this time. But I'm wondering if this means that we're going to see that little bit from the trailer, where either him or a member of his species is seen on a vehicle with Greef Karga and is it Kara? Yeah, can't remember which one it is. All of a sudden, I always know, and then all of a sudden when I need to know her name, I stumble over it, which I do all the time. Asaka. I do it all the time. I never expected that we would necessarily see Ahsoka in this episode, even though at the end of the last episode, of course, Bo-Katan told us that she was going to be on this planet. He knows where to go, and he was on his way there. I figured a couple things. One, like everybody else, I've been informed, because I don't normally know this stuff, but I've been informed that Dave Filoni is directing, I believe, the next episode, not this one. And they suspect that if they're going to bring Ahsoka in or have her do anything significant, that he would want to be the one directing that episode. So people are speculating that she won't appear until either the very end of this episode or next episode. So I'm fine with that. I'm not expecting it. If it happens, it'll be a great surprise. But I also thought that he needed to get his ship fixed, because there's no way he's going to just, either fixed or replaced, but they can't replace it. Come on, man. So I figured there'd be a bit of a stopover, and now that we see this and the thumbnail showing Greef Karga, that we know that he's going to be meeting up with them. And then we saw that bit in the trailer too, so we kind of know where some of the things in this episode are going to happen. Not necessarily everything, which is good. You want to be surprised. So what is the length of this episode? 39:14, so subtracted. It's a little bit longer than the last episode, which is good. Not as long as the first episode, but we'll see. They seem to pack a lot. They tend to pack a lot in every episode, so I'm not too concerned. Anyway, why don't we just get started? Start watching this thing.
We're respectable again.
I like how this summary, up until this last scene here, this summary this recap is basically the entire first season.
Fire. The red one.
Why am I getting flashbacks to Rocket trying to tell Groot how to use the detonator?
They're oppositely charged.
Oh, he's gonna touch them together.
So keep them apart.
Love it. Very cool that we see him drinking. Because I always thought, how does he drink unless he's using straw? So he's allowed to tip his helmet up and drink in his sect. I hesitate to use the word cult, although it is technically a cult, right? But his sect. So according to his sect, according to Children of the Watch, it's okay if people see your mouth. You just can't see your eyes, I guess, maybe? Kara's the marshal now. Cool. Well, she was trying to take them in by just, subduing them, but they made her kill most, if not all of them. It's on them. The siege. Okay, so the siege. We've got another side mission. Obviously, every episode it's a side mission. Now we know what the smirk is for. It's because of the ship, I bet. That's ominous. I don't like the mechanic or whatever looking back like that. Either he's looked back there too, he or she. Look back there too. So this is obviously not going to turn out well. They're giving us the little visual cues that at least that one is going to somehow betray them, or betray Mando, I guess. Maybe the child bounty. Maybe he's thinking that he can somehow turn in the child, even though this is probably the wrong planet, the wrong town to be doing that at, considering Greef and the Marshal both being fans of the child. We'll see how this plays out. But yeah, they're definitely giving us the cues that there's something up here.
Anyone? How about
A school. Cool. The kids are going to be just a little distracted. I'm worried. Even though Kara said, you can trust me, the child is there amongst other children and a protocol droid. None of them tend to be very able to protect much. I'm worried that something will happen to the child here. Is he going to use force powers to steal a cookie? Yep. Not just a cookie, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, but
Oh, looky.
creative accounting.
Oh, so he called the bounty out on this guy. All right.
Magistrate cargo. That's right.
Oh, the mission.
We could really use your help.
The mention of a skeleton crew. Is this going to be kind of a mirror of last season when he said that there were just a handful of troopers? And it turned out there were a lot. They're going to go there and it's not going to be a skeleton crew. It's going to be well staffed. But I like the mission. And I can see why Kara is behind it. She hates the Empire, and this is the last of the Imperials on this planet, and she wants to get rid of them. So, as she says, the planet would be finally free.
Finally be free.
Finally be free. Oh, cool. Cool. Episode 4, Speeder.
Look, lady, this is rated for light plumbing. And
Lady? He's supposedly been there working in the town and would have run into her all the time. Lady. I'm still not quite sure why they brought the accountant along. I mean, obviously, it's a character we're familiar with. It's comic relief and so forth. But tactically or even strategically, why'd they bring him? What skills does he have that we don't know about? I don't think the shuttle blade's going to answer, dude. TK-147? Reinforcements, see? Oh, crap. Are these the clone attempts of the Emperor?
Catastrophic failure.
So, I'm gonna try to guess here. This is a facility, maybe one of many, but the facility where they were attempting to clone the Emperor. And they needed the DNA from the baby Yoda, from the child, because he's force sensitive to inject into the Emperor's DNA. I'm a little confused because the Emperor was definitely force sensitive. So if they had the Emperor's DNA to use for cloning, why would they need force sensitive DNA unless they're trying to infuse it to make him even stronger? Maybe?
M count though.
M count, Metachlorian, yep.
I recommend
Metachlorian. See? Me and pronouncing words. I know what it is, but I can't remember.
experimentation.
he's old.
Oh, they just found out Moff Gideon's still alive. Dun dun dun. We already knew that, but they just found out.
Gideon's alive then.
Very cool. I was worried his jetpack would be damaged by all the shots to his jetpack, but I guess it's also covered in Beskar, so. Oh, that poor speeder. Nice. Speeder bike chase. Too close, he can't traverse.
I've lost him.
I think it has guns on the front. What the? Who's gunning those? Who's manning those? Wow. Yeah, just like I said, this is not a small base with a skeleton crew, just as Kara pointed out. But I mean, man, this is major Imperial force here. Yeah, I don't think he's missing. I think he's trying to use the cliff walls. It just dawned on me. We got to run down a trench here. So help me God, if one of those stormtroopers says, "I have you now." No, it got repaired that quickly? No way. Yeah, I mean, the kid didn't even finish his cookies yet. That was a very reminiscent moment, wasn't it, to the Millennium Falcon coming in and saving Luke? How did they repair it that fast? It's also, I'm going to say, a little unrealistic that the TIE fighters, which are very maneuverable, intended to be fighters, go up against the Razor Crest, which is an antique, and I don't think ever was a fighter. But it's still cool. Oh, no.
Flying, my friend.
I'm glad Child wasn't abducted this episode. Very glad. I wouldn't have liked that being dragged out like that. So he's on his way. Maybe there's enough time left. Maybe meet Ahsoka and then the episode ends. Maybe. I mean, I know they do. I don't want to look ahead. Don't want to look ahead.
Ace exploded. No.
How long after the Razor?
The cool news is, or the cool thing is, if this guy makes a report, then the new Republic has a record of Mando not only saving or attempting to save that officer, and then abducting those 3 most wanted, but also destroying an Imperial base. I think he's going to be considered an ally pretty soon.
I'll be sure to.
I lost everyone.
Yeah, I knew she was going to say everyone.
I'm sorry.
That looks Imperial. I knew that one couldn't be trusted. It implanted some kind of device on the Mandalorian ship, on the Razor Crest. Oh boy. Obviously they're going to be tracking him, right? Oh, because they know he has a child. Dang it.
You will be well rewarded.
What do we got here? What? What is this blurry in the foreground that looks suspiciously like a Darth Vader helmet? Oh, okay, I see. It's it's a helmet from one of the troopers. Okay, got it. Which obviously were probably modeled in a similar way to the Darth Vader helmet. Okay. Cool. So we don't get Ahsoka, but we get Moff Gideon. And a new Imperial officer who looks very familiar to me for some reason. Need to find out who's playing her. And obviously they're going to play the slow game now. They're not going to try to take him immediately. They're going to follow and look for an opportunity to take the child from Mando. You know, this number of troopers, of these dark troopers or whatever they are, would be, I don't know what they're called, I forgot, would be impressive, except for the fact that our team has already taken some of them out. I mean, they took out a whole bunch of them, like a squad of 6 or 8 of them or whatever. This doesn't impress me. Not impressed much. Directed by Carl Weathers, of course. I think I heard that before, too. Okay, so the most remarkable amount of time a backwater planet with 2 mechanics were able to completely retrofit and clean up and repair and rearm and rearmor the Razor Crest. Didn't seem... I'm sorry, I got it. That takes too much hand-waving. There's just something wrong there. But it was cool, anyway, that he got into the fight and everything's back to normal. It was really nice. But, man, that was way too fast. And, of course, they gave us the cues that one was suspicious and planted some kind of tracking device. And so now the Imperial remnants are going to be able to track... Moff Gideon is going to be able to track and abduct or obtain the child when they think whenever they want, or whenever it's, easiest for them to do so. We're going to talk about Ahsoka in a bit, about my theories, but back up. So he's on his way to meet her. It looks like this station, like we said, it looks like it was attempts to clone the Emperor, because they're tying into that the sequel trilogy's conclusion. If you haven't seen it, the big spoilers, I guess. You're probably going to be very confused about what's going on here. But the Emperor survived, so to speak, his death by I think I only watched that movie once. I think he was cloned. I think he was a clone, but he wasn't a 100% complete functioning clone, which is why he needed to absorb energy from our heroes to kind of become more, and then of course he was killed finally, hopefully finally. But this looks like the efforts to do that, right? And it takes time, and obviously it started way back when, and this is way back when, 5-6 years after the Emperor supposedly died, falling down the shaft. So it totally ties out, and they needed to, I guess, reinforce the M count of the body to make the clone viable, and so that's why they need the child, because they can use his DNA and the M's in midichlorians in him to increase the survivability chance of the clone. So this is all tying in, which is kind of cool. Love seeing the callbacks to classic Star Wars stuff. I mean, the speeder, the X-wings chasing down the trench, the Millennium Falcon, otherwise known as the Razor Crest, coming at the last second, saving them in the trench run. Just really cool stuff. The speeder bikes, the sounds, a lot of the things the Stormtroopers said and their voices and the way they sounded, very reminiscent of the original trilogy. Very good. I very much liked it, and calling out certain key phrases they said were almost identical, if not identical, to some of the things they said in the original trilogy. Just really cool fan service, Even if you're not a uber fan, I'm not an uber fan of Star Wars. I've watched all the movies, and I've enjoyed all the movies, and some of them I watched multiple times. Obviously not the most recent ones. So very good fan service, even for casual fans like myself. Really appreciated that. But Ahsoka, I wanted to say two things. There's a couple of theories that I have going on. One of them is, I believe Armando Din Djarin, again, pronouncing things wrong, Din Djarin. Armando is, I believe, we're going to find out he's Force sensitive. They've given us a couple clues, including the end of last episode where he reached back without even seeing it and grabbed that thing that was going to attack the child. I think we're going to find out he's Force sensitive. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a Jedi candidate. Maybe, I don't know. But here's a crazy theory. What if he ends up being a challenger to Bo-Katan for, wielding the Darksaber and leading the Mandalorian people? Wouldn't that be interesting? And, you could argue, no, Bo-Katan's an important character created in Clone Wars. Yeah, but he was created by the same people who created this character. So that doesn't make her more important than him. He's still a Mandalorian. Yeah, she's got more history for us, having watched the animated shows, which, by the way, I'm almost done with. But he's still made by the same people, and he's still just as important, I would imagine. And I think he's going to turn out to be really important. So that's my crazy theory is that he ends up potentially leading the Mandalorian people, and being Force sensitive, and being a kind of a good match for the Darksaber. That's just a crazy theory. I don't think it's going to happen. That's just kind of like crazy theory stuff. I do think he is Force sensitive, though, much in the same way that like Han Solo was Force sensitive, right? Not really Jedi material, but lucky and good reflexes and preflexes and things like that. So I think that's going to be the case. But Ahsoka. Guys, see, I just said it wrong. Ahsoka. I said Ahsoka again. Ahsoka. I'm not sure. She can't just like say, okay, yeah, great. I'll take him as my Padawan. That's not going to happen, right? For the child. Because then the child won't be in the series anymore unless Ahsoka is going to start traveling around with a Mandalorian, which, hey, that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the child's going to stay with with Din. And I think Ahsoka is going to basically offer him some advice, maybe. Some people are worried that she's going to die. And she might. I hope not. But she might offer some advice. She might have pointers or ideas about where to take him to his people as opposed to the Jedi. People are expecting her to say her famous line from the animated series, "I'm no Jedi," which is quite likely for her to. She's going to say that, so I'm fully expecting her to. So she's going to deny she's a Jedi, even though she really is. I mean, she never was formally finished her training, but realistically, she's a Jedi. But she's going to deny it, so she's not going to want to take him on as a Padawan and train him. She probably is kind of put all that behind her, I would imagine. But she may give him helpful advice and pointers, and maybe get him in touch with people who can help him more. So, the next thing, just like this series, I talked about it in season 1. I don't think I reacted to season 1, but in our podcast, I talked about it. It's very much like a kind of like an RPG, like a video game, or an RPG if you do it on paper, where he's moving from contact to contact, to mission on a journey, on a quest. He's got the quest, which is to reunite the child with his people, and he's meeting all these people along the way, and going on these quests. So I have a feeling that's going to be her purpose, at least initially, is to just kind of give him some information, point him in another direction, essentially. Now you can imagine there might be another side mission in the next episode when he meets her, and that side mission might be, I don't know, it might actually be fighting off the Empire. Maybe the Empire goes to try to take the child in the next episode, and Ahsoka is there to help protect. That would be really, really cool. And this is all assuming we're going to see her next episode, which I think is kind of a given, but we'll see. Anyway, I really like this. I mean, this is, like I said, fun, fan servicey, exciting. We got a lot more Imperial stuff. Very cool, very cool. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you thought of this episode, what you think of my comments, what you think of my crazy theory, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.